Ayy, look, yeah, ayy. I'm in the lab like Dexter, brand new batch he tested. I'm with all the extras, don't try and bitch, I'm pressure. I'm the type to step on steppers, I'm the type to step on steppers. I'm the type to step on steppers, I'm the type to step on steppers.
NBA Summer League. With the NBA Summer League pretty much wrapping up earlier this week, any standouts, any guys that impressed you, any guys that disappointed you? Let's go ahead and start that off.
You can go ahead, buddy.
Jabari Smith. That guy came in. He had a motive. He said, "I'm gonna come. I'm gonna cook." There was that game where he had 4 points in the first half and ended with like 33 in the second. The game winning three. I was just like, "But like next year, Ime, he's gonna be nice." I feel like he gets more touches. The offense is more smooth. It's not like, hey, everybody touches the ball, they just do it. Throw up their own shot. It's gonna be more movement. It's gonna be more ball passing. I feel like he's gonna find his role in that offense. So to me, Jabari Smith, he came out outstanding. People had a lot of questions about him last year. What's his role going to be alongside Jalen Green and these other young guys? Everybody knew the Rockets' offense. It wasn't looking too well, but they got a whole new team this year. So I feel like he fits in perfect, and he showed me a lot this summer league.
The guy that I'm been raving about. It sucks that his brother got hurt after his first summer league game, but Asar Thompson, man. I've just absolutely loved every single thing that this guy has done in the summer league, whether that's playing defense, whether that's rebounding, whether that's finishing, whether that's passing. I mean, just every time he stepped onto the court, you already got a sense that these guys, that his feel for the game is just on another level compared to anybody on the court. His ability just to read the game. Him and his brother, Amen, Amen in his first game up against Scoot Henderson, you can just tell the IQ level that these two twins have is just on another level. You can get the sense that they study the game a lot. And it's crazy because a lot of people questioned them playing in the OTE league, but it seems like they're, compared to NCAA prospects, they're on another level of being able to read the game. And they're definitely him and his brother are going to be in this league for a long time. And I think they're both going to be star players. I just love the idea of what can do next to Cade is going to be very, very fun come down the line. And, I think Ivy's spot is going to be threatened at some point. Ivy in the summer league, I'm not going to put too much stock into summer league. I think, there's been worse players that have won summer league MVP and, they've been busted in this league. But, I didn't like what I seen out of Jaden Ivey in terms of his selfishness and how he looked. But, it is summer league at the end of the day. And another guy that impressed me a lot was Keontae George from the Utah Jazz. I think that guy's scoring ability is just phenomenal. It's a guy who, coming into this season, he was seen as a top 7 prospect. At some point, he was ranked as top 7, then he kind of fell because of inconsistencies and then injuries. But he is someone that has absolute amazing talent. He's a microwave scorer. But what has been a lot of pleasant for me to see is just his playmaking ability. So, Keontae George and Asar Thompson have been two people that I've just been thoroughly impressed with.
For me, another second-year guy, Max Christie from the Lakers, man. That guy, he showed me a lot. The development from last year to this year, the way he's getting bulked up, getting some size, the way his ball handling, his shooting, and everything, it's been fantastic. So for me, I'm very glad that he's taking this step forward. He's going to be our next Caruso, Reeves type of player. I feel like he's going to step into that role as well. He's gonna ball off. So I hope it pans out. But he showed me some in the summer league. He showed me some good hoops.
I think for me, my standout from NBA Summer League, it's got to be Cam Whitmore. I said coming into this draft, after watching his tape, he was one of the few players that I had an understanding of who he was going to be as a basketball player coming into the league. The guy that's just going to be a straight bucket for any franchise that he lands on. That's exactly what he did. Coming into summer league. Finishing off the summer league with averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists over the course of 6 games. I believe that he was really effective for this team, and so I think the future is extremely bright for the Houston Rockets, and for him to fall into their laps at pick 20 after drafting Amen Thompson with that top pick. I think the Houston Rockets, completely, not only did they win the draft, but they want for the future, and they set themselves up. So
another guy that of course has been raving off for 2 years now since I was in college. Chet Holmgren. It was a guarantee that he was going to be great. great was he in the summer league? This guy's protection is absolutely phenomenal. Scoring ability, his ability to search the score, making. It's just not phenomenal. First game was the second game was getting into it. And by then, the guy, he's gonna be a standout in this OKC team. He's gonna come in and have an impact, and he is someone who should be seen as a dark horse for Rookie of the Year. I know Wembanyama is going to be lurking around, and he's the favorite. But Chet should be someone that is seen as a dark horse for the Rookie of the Year. He's definitely someone that I'm not going to say I was surprised by. I expected him to do this in the summer league, but he's someone that I was happy to see perform.
Wemby finna be a hooper though.
Yeah, everybody was overreacting after one game, but even in that one game, I mean, his rim protection was absolutely amazing. Of course, the guy literally came off of basically 3 weeks of not playing. First off, he was playing in league playoff basketball for his French team, and then he stopped playing for a minute just because he got busy with the draft and everything. Like he was playing basketball for a minute, and then
on a world tour.
Yeah, the guy's been busy. That's why he has to. I think he's sitting out of FIBA, just because he was busy with a lot of stuff and he needs time to rest. But the second game showed everybody what Victor is going to be in this league. I mean, the shot making, the rim protection, the rebounding, everything, the passing. We know this guy's going to be absolutely superstar.
Playmaking abilities too. The ball handling is there. He can shape up on a couple of the dribbles. Like it look like it's for him. It's rough sometimes, but he got it. I'm gonna be watching a lot of Spurs games this year. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people overreacted to that first game, and then for him to come out in that second game and completely dominate. That was enough for the San Antonio Spurs. But one thing that kind of confuses me when it comes to summer league is these second-year players that don't necessarily need to be playing. They might play one game or they might play a couple games, and then after that, the general manager, the head coach feel the need to just pull them and not necessarily play them anymore when they didn't really have any serious need to be there in the first place. A lot of guys did that. Benedict Mathurin was one of them. Keegan Murray dropped like 40 points against the Warriors that first game. Never played again in the summer league. The guy from OKC, he might have played a couple. I know he had 40 points in one of them. So yeah.
I know Jalen Williams sat out for like 4 games though.
Jalen Williams came in, dominated the first game, didn't play again. Jabari Smith, I understood why he kind of played a couple of games and then they sat him out. He kind of had to, showcase after having some sort of decent season last year. But a lot of these franchises don't necessarily have to send out these top guys. Like there's no reason for Benedict Mathurin to be out there. There's no reason for Keegan Murray to be out there. Those guys are key rotational pieces for their franchises. And so it's always just funny to see those guys show out for one game and end up sitting on the sidelines or being sent home on vacation. But another standout, though, that I think that a guy that went completely under the radar, surprisingly ended up winning on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was not Imani Bates, but it's Evan Mobley's brother. I think his name is Isaiah Mobley. After watching that championship game, he was just completely dominant. And then after looking up his numbers over the course of the summer league, I think he finished off the summer league with about 22 points. What else did he? 22 points, 9 rebounds, and so shooting 55% from the field. So I think that's another key standout. But aside from that, I think there's one guy that we have to discuss about, and I think that's Brandon Miller. One guy that struggled mightily in summer league, I would say, kind of picked it up a little bit, but overall, if we had to, assess his summer league debut and his summer league as a whole, I wouldn't even say it's very mid. I would say terrible, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it was a particularly good summer league for a guy like Brandon Miller, especially with this talent level. But summer league, I the reason why I don't put stock into summer league is there's always context that exists with summer league. One, of course, is an adjustment period for guys playing against they're always going up against guys that are literally playing for their contract. So these guys are playing extra physical. It's an adjustment for a guy like Brandon Miller, who is not as physically gifted as like many other prospects. But still, he's playing on a team without a natural point guard. I mean, Nick Smith isn't necessarily a point guard. He's a shooting guard, even though I do think that game where he had 33 and Brandon Miller had 28, they're absolutely phenomenal. Both of them in that game, and that kind of gave us a glimpse at what Brandon Miller can become. But it is a combination. I think his ability to score was on display. His shooting was phenomenal to me in the summer league. Even if it looked like he wasn't hitting as many as he should have, I still think he was good enough. But I don't put stock into summer league like that. I think Brandon Miller would be fine. I do think that there is some glaring weaknesses that he does need to work on, like his strength and his dribbling. But overall, I'm not gonna put too much stock in him struggling. I mean, the guy didn't really have a point guard. I think LaMelo's gonna open up a lot of things for a guy like Brendan Miller.
Yeah, he had to ask Summer League. He had to ask Summer League. I don't know how you get 10,000 at the Summer League game and you're still hooping. I never knew that rule. Like you got like 9 fouls, you still can play in Summer League. But I mean, it's not much. It's about 4 games that he played. It doesn't show much. Like Abdi said, once he plays against with the LaMelo as a playmaker, it might open up his game more. He can play off ball a little bit more. He has a okay jump shot. So once we see him with LaMelo and see how he fits in with that, we'll see. But his game to the rim, he's non-athletic. He's kind of slow. It's tough when he attacks the rim. To me, I don't know if he can finish at the basket a lot, but we'll see what happens with LaMelo.
It's just extremely hard to assess somebody based on Summer League, but Summer League is the first look that we get at them, and so obviously up until the start of the season, whether that's NBA preseason or opening night, we're not gonna get the opportunity to assess these guys ever again up until that point. So it wasn't a good start for Brandon Miller, but at the end of the day, it is Summer League, and so I think he'll be just fine. There is some glaring weaknesses in his game that he does need to focus on leading up to the opening night. But it's going to be interesting how he pairs up with LaMelo Ball. All he has to do is really just focus on scoring, not really do anything else for that team. And LaMelo's going to put him in the right positions to be successful. And so overall, I think we saw a lot of these top talents.
Talk about your boy Scoot yet?
No, I think the game one, him and Amen Thompson, I think they showed why they were both top 5 picks. I mean, these guys they're going back and forth. Like
game is
they're both
he's very explosive, man. It's beautiful to watch.
Yes.
The way he gets to the rack is too easy.
He's a very methodical player. I mean, the guy, he picks his spots. He likes to get into that mid-range jump shot. He reads the floor well. I think him and Amen, they both knew exactly where their teammates were going to be. It was just the IQ level of these two is just out of this world for me. Like they're, especially Amen Thompson. I mean, the bounce pad that he had in that game where the center got fouled, that whip pass that he had to Jabari Smith. I mean, the guy's just unbelievable, both of them. And sucks that they both ended up getting hurt, but we've seen enough from both of them.
Scoot game too nice. I swear, Wemby wasn't in this draft. Easy consensus 1.
Yeah, I think those two guys going at it in that first game really kicked off the Summer League. Really got the Summer League off to a very hot start, and after that, it just died down. Scoot sat out due to an injury. Amen Thompson injured himself due to an ankle injury, so it wasn't really as entertaining. But we did see some flashes. But overall, I think Summer League was a good showing, a good showcasing for a lot of these young talents. I think the future is going to be extremely bright for the rest of the league, and it's going to be interesting to see how all these guys do when the regular season starts.
Record a new hit, then we making us a film. Wouldn't sign a deal if I got a couple mil. Been in the lab, now they throwing out deals. Me and now H, now that's overkill.